class is on histology of thymus and palatine tonsil. So in the last class you learnt about two other lymphoid tissues, that was spleen and lymph node. So in continuation, these two also very important. You must know the histological features of thymus and palatine tonsil. Now thymus is a primary lymphoid organ. So where it is present, as you can see here, it is present in the superior mediastinum. Okay, it is a primary lymphoid tissue which is present in the superior mediastinum. So it lies deep to the manubrium sternum, and you can see it is formed by two lobes. Now this thymus, up till 7-8 years, it is more active. After that it regresses in size. So at birth it is around 10 to 15 grams. So as age increases, it becomes 30-40 grams, and finally it is replaced by fat because it undergoes involution. So what does this thymus do? If I say primary lymphoid organ, what does it do? So this is involved in terminal differentiation of T lymphocytes. So T cells are terminally differentiated in thymus. So as I told you, this is a gross anatomy part of it. Thymus has right and left lobes that are joined by fibrous tissue. It is a primary lymphoid organ and it secretes hormones, that is thymulin and thymopoietin. And if there is any autoimmune disease involving the thymus, it results in a condition called myasthenia gravis. So you can write this down. It has right and left lobes. It is a primary lymphoid organ. So this point is very much important. So you must write this point in your exams as well. It is a primary lymphoid organ which is involved in terminal differentiation of T lymphocytes. Okay, and it is covered by connective tissue capsule. It is covered by connective tissue capsule. So this connective tissue capsule is nothing but fibrous tissue. Now this fibrous tissue sends in septa or the trabeculae, okay, which divides the thymus into various lobules. Okay, the capsule, the outer capsule which is covering the thymus, it sends the fibrous tissue septa which divides the gland into numerous lobules. This thymus has a very rich blood supply. So blood supply is very good. So along this septa, the blood vessels from the capsule enters the interior of thymus. Okay. Now here what you should know, the cells in the thymus, they are called thymocytes or thymocytes and epithelio reticulocytes or epithelial cytes. Okay, these are special cells which are derived from third pharyngeal pouch. See, in this diagram you can see it. Here what you are seeing is the capsule of the thymus with its blood vessels. Okay, all these are blood vessels. Now these are the trabeculae or the septa. So the blood vessels travel through this septa and enter into the thymus. Now this is lobule of thymus. This is one lobule. This is the other lobule. Okay, this is one more lobule. So within the thymus you can see the cells. They are called thymocytes or immature T lymphocytes. Okay, so these cells are present within the lobule of thymus. Now covering the lobule, okay, what you are seeing here, these are epithelial reticular cells. So these two cells you must know, you have to write in your exams. Okay, so there are mainly these cells, but there are other cells also, macrophages are also there. But mainly you will see in thymus, you will see thymocytes and epithelial reticular cells. So these cells are derived from third pharyngeal pouch. Okay, so far what I have told you is this. The connective tissue capsule which is covering the thymus, it divides the thymus into lobes, which further divides it into lobules. Now each lobule has an outer cortex and inner medulla. It has an outer cortex and inner medulla. Now you can all write down this slide. So in your exams, if you write these many points, it is more than enough. So you have to, these are important points which you cannot skip these. Okay, you have to write down this. Okay, so each lobule in the thymus has an outer cortex and an inner medulla, and the medulla of adjoining lobules is continuous. Thymus has three types of cells: epithelial cells, thymocytes, and macrophages. Okay, so these are the three types of cells: epithelial cells, thymocytes, and macrophages. Okay, now you are seeing in your slides, this is how you see. This is a outer capsule, okay, and which sends in the septa. You can see dividing it into, this is one lobule, this is one more, this is one more, here is one lobule. Okay, you can see the various lobules. Within the lobule, what you can see, the periphery, this periphery, this is one lobule. So within one lobule, you can see the periphery, okay, which is called cortex. The cortex and the inner lighter region, what you are seeing, this is called medulla. So the medulla of one lobule is continuous with medulla of the other lobule. You can see that. Okay, the medulla of one is continuous with the medulla of the other lobule. Also, what you can observe here is the outer cortex is dark and the inner medulla is light in color. Okay, so the thymic lobules are incomplete. They are incomplete and it is divided into outer cortex and inner medulla. The cortex is dark or intensely basophilic. The cortex is intensely basophilic and it consists of closely packed lymphocytes which are called thymocytes. The closely packed lymphocytes are called thymocytes. Okay, next is medulla. Medulla has loosely packed T cells, loosely packed T cells, and large number of epithelial cells which form a network. So it forms a mesh kind of support. Okay, it is just like a spider web. So it is like a supportive framework for the cells to lie in this location. Okay, so the medulla has numerous Okay. Okay, sorry for the interruption here. Okay, so I was telling you about the medulla. The medulla has loosely packed T cells, and it has a network of epithelial reticular cells or epitheliocytes, which form a mesh in the medulla. So what you are supposed to know here is these epitheliocytes are derived from endoderm. See, the entire gland is derived from mesoderm. Okay, whereas the epitheliocytes are derived from endoderm of third pharyngeal pouch. So this point is very important. So you must know this. Okay, thymocytes present in the thymus. Okay, and see, if anyone is unmuting, please mute yourself so that you don't disturb the class. Okay, so the epitheliocytes are derived from endoderm of third pharyngeal pouch. So what does this do, epitheliocytes? Write down this. The functions of epitheliocytes. It forms blood thymus barrier, blood thymus barrier, promotes T cell differentiation and proliferation, promotes T cell differentiation and proliferation, thymic nurse cell forms Hazel's corpuscles. Thymic nurse cell forms Hazel's corpuscles. So what do we mean by blood thymus barrier? You can see it is formed by the following structure. Okay, you can see the blood vessel here, the capillary. This is a capillary. Okay, and outer to this is the endothelial cell, the basal cell, and outer to this is a thymic epithelial cell. Okay, thymic epithelial cell and the capillary together forms, this is blood thymus barrier. So this blood thymus barrier is very much important for the differentiation of cells. See, what happens is it recognizes the foreign cells from the our own cells. Okay, so blood thymus barrier you should know, which is mainly formed by the capillary and the epithelial cells. Now in the slide given, this is how you will observe the thymus. So you can see here, this is the whitish region what you are seeing. No, this is the septa. This is one lobule. So you can see the blood vessel also here. So that's the blood vessel. This is one lobule. This is the other lobule. So within the lobule, you can see the darker zone, highly basophilic zone over here. This is called cortex. The cortex contains thymocytes. Okay, and inner, and here why it is dark, because of densely packed lymphocytes. The T lymphocytes are densely packed here. Here in this region it is light because the cells are less densely packed. Okay, from here the thymocytes, after it is differentiated, it leaves the bloodstream. It enters the thymocytes, enters into the blood vessels and lymphatics. Now, within this medulla, you can see these pinkish structures. Okay, this is a characteristic feature of thymus, okay, which is called Hazel corpuscles. These are Hazel, where my cursor is showing now, that is Hazel's corpuscles. So Hazel corpuscles are small rounded structure present in the medulla of the thymus, and they are pink stain. You can see, unlike the basophil cells here, you can see this is pink stained. Now this is formed by degenerated epithelial cells and degenerated macrophages. Okay, and it is whirl-like. It is like a whirl. You can see here also. You can see it is whirl-like concentric pinkish mass present in the medulla of the thymus, and it is derived from degenerated epithelial cells and degenerated macrophages. So in your exam, in your for identification of the slide, so the pointer will be here. So we'll keep the pointer here. So by looking at Hazel corpuscles and the lymphocytes, the T lymphocytes, you have to identify it as thymus. So this is a characteristic feature of thymus, presence of Hazel corpuscles. So as I told you, Hazel corpuscles are small rounded structures present in the medulla of thymus. It has a central core formed by degenerated epithelial cells, and around the mass there is concentrically arranged epitheliocytes. So it is whirl-like. It's like a whirl. Okay, and it is derived from epitheliocytes. See, under higher magnification, this is how the Hazel corpuscle appears. So you can see it is concentric. In the center there is hyaline mass. Okay, and surrounding this, all these are thymocytes or lymphocytes. So as I told you, cortex has densely packed lymphocytes and medulla has less densely packed lymphocytes. So apart from these two cells, so mainly these two cells are present, that is thymocytes and epithelial cells, epitheliocytes. Apart from this, there are macrophages which are present in the cortex. They are involved in phagocytosis of T cells. Okay, so whichever immature T cells, when they are undergoing differentiation, they have to correctly undergo. So if there is any deformed T lymphocyte, then these macrophages, they phagocytose those T cells. And in the medulla, they form dendritic antigen presenting cells. In the medulla, the macrophages are dendritic cells. Okay, again they are involved in phagocytosis of T cells. Now, so what happens if there is autoimmune disorder of thymus? It results in a condition called myasthenia gravis. So you can see at the neuromuscular junction, at the neuromuscular, normally acetylcholine is released. So because if thymus is not functioning properly, if there is autoimmune disorder of thymus, the antibodies which are produced, they they do not help in release of acetylcholine. So that results in a condition called myasthenia gravis, in which there is drooping of eyelids. Okay, drooping of eyelids. So you have to write this. Any histology topic is asked for you, like histology of thymus. So you have to write what is thymus. It's a primary lymphoid organ. Where it is present, what is its location? So it is in the superior mediastinum. It is covered by capsule. The capsule sends in septa which divides it into lobule. It consists of outer cortex and inner medulla. It has a rich blood supply. And one more thing is there are no afferent, though it is a lymphoid tissue, it does not, unlike lymph node, it does not have any afferent lymphatics. It has only efferent lymphatics. Okay, and there are no lymphatic follicles. Unlike in lymph node, there were follicles. But here there are no follicles. What is its function? It is involved in terminal differentiation of T lymphocytes. Okay, and it produces certain hormones like thymosin, thymopoietin. Okay, so what does it do? See, most of the cells which are present in thymus are destroyed. Only 10% reach the bloodstream and they enter into secondary lymphoid organs. Okay, next, what does it contain? So there are three types of cells. Primarily it is thymocytes, next epitheliocytes, which are derived from third pharyngeal pouch, and macrophages. And the characteristic feature of thymus is presence of Hassell's corpuscles, which are present in the medulla. They do not have any functional significance, but they are derived from degenerated epithelial cells. Applied anatomy, myasthenia gravis is an autoimmune disorder involving the thymus. So this much you have to write along with the diagram. The next topic is palatine tonsil. Now, palatine tonsil is present in the it's present in the throat. Okay, and it is a collection of lymphocytes or lymphatic nodule. So you can write this down. It's a collection of lymphocytes in the lateral wall of oropharynx. So write all these points, then I'll explain to you. Okay, so palatine tonsil, thymus will be asked as a short essay. Palatine tonsil usually will be asked like a short answer. Okay, either you will have to draw the diagram or a few points you have to write. Okay, so where it is present? It is present in the oropharynx. In the oropharynx, and since it is in the mouth, it is covered by stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. This epithelium, it extends into the substance of tonsil and it forms invaginations. Okay, it forms invaginations which is around 10 to 20. Okay, they are called tonsillar crypts. Tonsillar crypts, and numerous mucus glands open into the crypts. So I'll show you the diagram. See, it is covered by stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Okay, so this epithelium here is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium which sends in invaginations. These invaginations are called tonsillar crypt. So around 15 to 20 crypts are present which mainly contain, see within this you can see certain particles like sort of thing, right? So they are desquamated epithelial cells, lymphocytes and bacteria, all this. Okay, so they are desquamated epithelial cells, lymphocytes and bacteria. So in tonsillitis what happens, that is inflammation of tonsil, this crypts will be covered by purulent discharge, pus. So you can see when the patient on examination, you will see that there will be yellow spots on the surface of the tonsil because of accumulation of purulent discharge here in the crypt. So this is the identification point for palatine tonsil, presence of 10 to 20 tonsillar crypts which contain desquamated epithelial cells. Surrounding the crypt, you will see lymphoid follicle. So already you know about lymphoid follicle. I don't have to explain about it. In the lymph node it has been explained to you. So surrounding the crypt, which is lined by stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, there are numerous lymphoid follicle. Deep to that you can see glands. Okay, so these are mucus acini. Okay, they are all mucus acini. And tonsil is unlike all other lymphoid organs which were covered by capsule. Tonsil is covered partly, only partly by capsule. Okay, so it is, in other words, it is called as non-encapsulated lymph node. Non-encapsulated lymph node. And epithelium of the tonsil, this epithelium of the tonsil is derived, you can write this, epithelium of the tonsil is derived from ventral part of second pharyngeal pouch. Epithelium of tonsil is derived from ventral part of second pharyngeal pouch. Whereas the next point you write down the lymphoid tissue. All these are lymphoid tissues surrounding the crypt. Okay, so lymphoid tissue is derived from vascular mesoderm. Lymphoid tissue is derived from vascular mesoderm. Next you write down palatine tonsil is part of Waldeyer's ring. Palatine tonsil is part of Waldeyer's ring. So Waldeyer's ring is a primary defense which is present in the oral cavity. Okay, oral and air passages. Okay, so this much you have to write about palatine tonsil. Usually palatine tonsil will be asked as a short answer topic, not as a short essay. So you have to only cover these many points. So we'll have a quick revision. I will ask you questions. Let me see if you can answer it. Okay. Okay, tell me the cells. You can unmute yourself and you can answer. Tell me name the cells in the thymus. What are the cells in the thymus?
Epithelial cells.
Yes.
Macrophages.
Yes, good.
Thymocytes.
Very good.
Epitheliocytes.
Thymocytes.
Yes. So epitheliocytes are derived from which pouch?
Third pharyngeal.
Third pharyngeal pouch.
Very
Third
good.
pharyngeal.
Yes.
Third
What is a characteristic feature of thymus?
Hazel
Corpuscles.
Yes. Correct. Very good. What is the function of thymus?
Differentiation of T
Produces T lymphocytes. T cells
Natural
terminally
T lymph.
different.
Terminal differentiation of T cells.
Yes. Now tell me, is it incomplete lobule or complete lobule in thymus?
Incomplete lobule.
Incomplete.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Okay. So what is myasthenia gravis?
Enlargement of thymus.
Yes. Involving the thymus. Okay. Okay. Now tell me, what are the two characteristic features of palatine tonsil?
tonsillar.
Covered partly by a capsule.
Tonsillar crypts.
Yes.
Tonsillar crypts.
Yes. Correct. What else? What else?
It's a
These
part
crypts
of
are
It's a
lined
part
by.
of Valde's ring.
The crypt is lined by which type of? Yes. So this point you have to know. You must know. It is lined by, because it is in the oral cavity. It is lined by stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. What else? These crypts are surrounded by. What is it surrounded by?
Mucus glands.
Lymphoid tissue.
Yes.
Lymphoid follicle and mucus acini.
Yes. Very good. Lymphoid follicles and mucus gland. What is the applied anatomy for tonsil?
Tonsillitis.
Tonsillitis.
Yes. So what happens in tonsillitis?
Inflammation of the tonsil.
Inflammation of tonsil.
And what happens with the tonsillar crypt?
Pus gets filled.
It will be filled with pus.
Yes. Which will be observed as yellow spots
Yellow spots.
on oral examination. Okay, that is it about today's class. So all the best. All of you stay safe, and thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Thank you. See you.
Thank
See
you.
you all soon.
Yes, ma'am.